What's good? I go by Cyrus. You're back with Middle Mega. I'm going to weigh in on this Eliza Bleu, Brittany Venti, the quartering situation. I just want to wrap this up, get this done, and be out on this topic. But let me start with somebody who I think did a good job. I think her name is that Star Wars girl, and yep, that Star Wars girl. I'm going to start with the video here just to get some backstory. Then I'm going to end with why I even care about it from the quartering side of things. Who I never had any problems with the quartering in his channel. Respect what he does a lot, but this situation is not handled well by him, and I I kind of gravitate to things that I don't see covered. I don't see anybody covering it from this angle, so that's why from the quartering angle, I see a lot of people rallying behind the quartering, and I don't understand it. I don't understand it at all. So I'm going to lay it out here. Here's that Star Wars girl.
All right, guys, so I have Twitter pulled up now. Everything that I show you is going to be linked down below in the description of this video. And like always, I have been blocked by a lot of the people involved. So I'm going to only be able to show you a lot of screenshots. But if you click on the links, you'll be able to go to the tweets if you are not blocked and see them for yourselves. So just to clarify that. Now, so Brittany Venti got censored and basically deplatformed from Twitter, along with Jeremy from the Quartering for defending Brittany Venti.
Just to give a warning for the stopping. To my knowledge and what I'm hearing from other people too, the first person I heard bring up anything in this recent thing about Eliza Bleu, I have a clip from a interview she did. That was the first time I saw questions about Eliza Bleu was in this interview that I do have. Well, I might as well just play it now. Here's the first time. This is well before I even heard Brittany Venti talk about it. This was the first red flag. I'm not going to be making anything determinative about Eliza Bleu in this video. I'm just going to show you the stuff I'm seeing. Here's the interview that first sparked my attention. I forgot when it was. It was a while back.
I don't know if for me to tell my story at length is going to take a while.
I don't even need that.
Questions about my story is going to take a while.
So I know the basics of your story because I've listened to your podcast.
Right. So I'm trying to figure out exactly what the question is.
Well,
So this is a podcast host, Katie Herzog. I'm not familiar with Katie Herzog, but she's kind of getting into the area of, she probably has some data. She sounds very on top of things, this Katie Herzog, and she's trying to inch towards Eliza Bleu explaining her past. And Eliza Bleu is defensive. This is the first time I saw her. Again, I'm not making any determination, but it is something that raised my eyebrows.
I can ask you the questions.
I didn't agree to this. All I agreed to was answering a few questions about Twitter.
Well, okay, sure. That's totally fine. But can I ask you the questions or email you the questions and you can decide if you want to answer or not?
Did you ask Amanda in advance to do that?
You see, these are weird answers. Did you ask in advance? I said I could email you the questions. You can answer them whenever you want. I don't even know what that has to do with talking to her manager or whoever else.
No, I told her that I wanted to ask you about the Twitter stuff and about your own story.
Okay, so you deceived Amanda, didn't tell her everything you wanted to ask me, and then you got a survivor on the phone and started asking her about her personal trauma.
No, that's not what happened. I said...
Katie, I think we're probably going to be done here. Please, just next time you want to speak to a survivor about their trauma and bring up their own past.
And Martha, thanks for the comment. I'll stop this for a second. Martha says that the quartering gets a lot wrong or out of context. It happens so much. I wonder if it's intentional. That's not where I'm going with it. I don't know if I see that. I do see an integrity problem, though, in my opinion, with the way that it's being handled. And I'll probably end with the quartering discussion. But I'm not even going on that he's getting information wrong or anything like that, which could be happening. I just don't know. Another comment, Tor says, quartering was booked before the Eliza stuff. So everybody's saying that. And so, yeah, the quartering was booked before the Eliza stuff happened. Him canceling a booking that had nothing to do with her story doesn't excuse him blaming Germany for not covering it. I'm going to get into that. I do not agree with that. I don't understand where that comment's coming from. I honestly don't understand how that comment is relevant. It doesn't matter when the quartering was booked. That's irrelevant. Has nothing. He was booked. It could have been 10 years ago. Who cares? He had a date, and he's in the middle of a beef with Eliza Bleu. You have a chance to go on. So I'm not going to digress too far yet, but that doesn't fly with me. I don't understand why it matters when he was booked. Completely irrelevant. And then I'll talk about Tim covering it too. No, as far. What's up, Ray Infinity Show? What's up, Ray? Metalopoly said, what happened? Are y'all saying none of it's true and Eliza Bleu isn't a grifter? I'm not saying anything about Eliza Bleu. I'm not comfortable to get too much into it. I'll play some of these clips. So I'm not really saying anything about Eliza Bleu. I'm just going to set this out for people who might not. I mean, pretty much everybody's following it, but I mean, I'm not following a lot of big stories out there right now. So just in case you're not following it, here are the red flags. Katie Herzog is interviewing Eliza Bleu and trying to get into her story. If you are purporting yourself to be a survivor and you don't want to get into your story, that does seem odd to me, because isn't that what you are out there to do? It seems odd.
I literally asked her. I'm going to read you. I'm going to read you. I'll read you the message that I sent her.
Please be honest in advance,
I won't.
Because there are times when I feel cool about talking about it, and there's other times when I don't.
I'll read you the message that I sent it to her. You're not listening to me.
I was totally comfortable talking about Twitter. If you were going to ask me about my own traumatizing story, I would have appreciated a little bit of a heads up. And you know what? I think you're a cool person. I always have. And I know you're cool with Tim Dillon, and I would have appreciated a little bit more respect.
So this is the using the trauma as a shield, which you've got to be very careful. Well, I want to be very careful with, but it's not a catch-all for everything that you can't be questioned. So this is a red flag. It's a red flag about Eliza Bleu here.
You're not listening to me. Here's what I said to her. I said, I'm interested in the Twitter changes as well as her history as a survivor. That is what I told her.
Okay, then I'm going to speak to her about that, because she messed up and didn't tell me what's up.
Okay, so you get the gist of it, that she was on the podcast. She was trying to test, find out about the story. You could probably tell Katie Herzog had done some research, is what it came across as. But let's go back to that Star Wars girl.
Now, summary of everything that happened is that basically Britney was asking a question. She shared screenshots from a public music video that has been live on YouTube for over 6 years. There's 0 age restrictions. It was a 100% consensual video, and Britney saw this video and she simply asked a question. She asked for Eliza Bleu to clarify, about this music video, because I guess it goes against her messaging of anti-human trafficking. Now, I think it's safe to say that every single human on the face of the planet is against human trafficking. I think that's a pretty safe thing to say. But aside from the people that are, profiting for it, that are evil, that are bad, that do that kind of stuff, obviously they, for whatever reason, they like it. I guess it's because they're making money from it. But I think it's safe to say the rest of the human race is pretty much against that. And so I guess Britney had been on a few live streams with this woman, and specifically on the Chrissy Mayer podcast. And so they knew each other. She knew where Britney stood, and Britney, I guess, had kind of an idea of where she stood. But so Britney came across this thread. Let me pull that up for you guys right now.
So everything she's saying lines up with what I saw. The first person that was in this new recent questioning of Eliza Bleu, the first person that I saw was Brittany Venti. And that's a channel I just happen, like if I'm in the mood and I see a pop-up from her, a thumbnail, I'll check it out to see. She's very funny. She's goofy as all hell. She's a great streamer. Totally different type of stuff or style than I'm used to. So I watch her quite a bit, and I saw her bring this up. It was her before the quartering jumped in, is what I saw.
This is a thread with all of the receipts. So this woman claims to be a victim of human trafficking, and that's why she's an advocate against it, and she tries to stop it and, help people that have been affected by it. But again, she claims to have been a victim of it, but look, as I'm scrolling through here, there's all of this video evidence that kind of conflicts with her story. She claims to have been trafficked between this year and this year, but there's all these videos of her during that time that she was allegedly trafficked. And Britney just wanted some clarification on it because, again, there was this kind of a lewd, which is this right here, this lewd music video that she's in where she's in lingerie and she's like, the one shot in particular where it's like zoomed up.
And for me, that doesn't necessarily prove anything. The timeline is my biggest question, is how do these things fit in the timeline? The video itself did not prove anything to me, but it raises eyebrows for sure.
This is a conversation that happened before the fact between her and Crab. You guys should go follow Crabman. He's really, really nice and awesome.
Crabman is very good. He'll talk to anybody. I've DM'd him. He's really good. I like Crabman a lot.
So this is a conversation that happened before to show that, Britney was not being malicious. She just had a genuine question. She was very confused by this.
And Britney didn't do anything disrespectful, was very dry, meaning she was just, here's the question. No sarcasm or anything or disrespect. She just literally asked the question. That is true.
And so she just asked Eliza. And because she asked and she had screenshots, again, of a public video that's been up on YouTube for over 6 years, Eliza and her minions flagged Britney. They were going around bragging about getting Britney deplatformed from Twitter. And so then the quartering came in and the quartering shared the same.
Okay, so that's when the quartering came in. So I'm going to get to the quartering in a second. But what happened here is Elon Musk. This is an Elon Musk problem, not an Eliza Bleu problem. This is an Elon Musk situation. Elon's got to fix this. Elon's got to address it. It's not an Eliza Bleu. Oh, Eliza Bleu went around and got people flagged. No, that's a Twitter platform problem. That's an Elon Musk problem. He's the one that makes these type of decisions. He's the head honcho. He's got to answer for what's happening here. A public video, like if you took a screenshot of my video right now and put it on Twitter, I don't have any, you don't need to ask me to do that. It's ridiculous. That's basically what they just did here. And here's the response from Elon's, I got to get the title right here. I don't know if this is the one that replaced Yoel Roth or what I forget the title of this person here. It's a Twitter employee. In the past 2 weeks, this is Ella Irwin, Twitter employee. In the past 2 weeks, we've suspended multiple accounts and or restricted content causing confusion for users. Unfortunately, we can't answer questions or share details about specific users and account actions, but here are some things that can lead to these types of actions. I can appreciate, she's like, I can't name Eliza Bleu in this. We know this is the situation that's blown up. To my knowledge, Elon Musk unfollowed Eliza Bleu. I don't know if that means anything, but he doesn't follow many people. I don't know. I have to check that. That's what I just saw when I was looking this up. First, continuing with Ella Irwin. First, we will suspend accounts for threats or incitement of violence. This includes, for example, declaring war on an individual or a group of people based on their race, religion, etc., and asking your followers to join you in this fight. So it's saying that if you do get people to rally and say, I do a tweet, and you get a bunch of people to join this fight and flag this post, that's my understanding here. This includes, for example, declaring war on an individual, group of people based on their race, religion. Okay, so I don't know if it says it has to be race, religion, and asking. She does say and, so you might have to have both qualifications there. I'm not sure. Andy No got involved here and talked about, hey, what about people who are ban avoiding and all that? She says we need something for that. She says they do not allow threats or incitement of violence from anyone. This doesn't mean that we're able to detect every single case of this on our platform, but we do take action when we find it or it is reported. So that's the general response there, and that's not a good enough response. I don't understand what that has to do. To my knowledge, Britney Venti is still banned, or I believe she can delete the tweet, but that causes a problem when lawsuits are threatened. But I believe she can delete the tweet. But here's a response. This is from 18. This is from that Star Wars girl's Twitter. She reposted a response from Brittany Venti. Let me show it here. Remember, this is the one who initially asked the respectful questions of Eliza Bleu. Eliza Bleu responded with a banhammer. That's a red flag. So I'm seeing red flags all over the place. Somebody asks a respectful question. You don't have to answer the question, but when you respond with a, I need a banhammer, or I want a banhammer, again, that's Elon's problem. But when that's the response from Eliza, that's another red flag. Brittany posted, "Hi guys, I'm snowed in right now. Yes, in Texas. I have a statement to make and I can't stream right now. I have no way of getting this out at this point. Even if she comes clean, Eliza has lied, has several inconsistencies about her story when she isn't busy switching the topic or being vague on podcasts. Everything that Brittany's saying is fair so far. She made it so victims won't be believed because of her lies about the videos being non-consensual. I can say that because of her recording saying she chased after the World Star guy just to get her music video. She has stepped on the backs of victims to get ahead while claiming to help them. I am not going to co-sign that statement. That goes further than I am willing to go. And obviously that's her prerogative. Brittany's the one saying this. She has had about 10 accounts or more at this point deplatformed off of Twitter. I disagree with that. That is Elon Musk and Twitter that has done that. According to that Star Wars girl's thread on Twitter, I am locked out, closing in on 2 weeks soon. This is my livelihood she is affecting. I cannot get news for content or contact content creators. Well, that's a tough one. Cannot contact content creators. I cannot even defend myself on the platform. I wholly am with Brittany on this. This is censorship that doesn't, I haven't seen there's anything here that makes sense for her to be censored. At all, not even close. This isn't a simple I'm sorry. She has personally affected my business and others. So she's used her, whether it's right or wrong, she's used her status as a weapon to leverage Twitter, it seems like. She has about, this isn't a simple I'm sorry. We're picking it up again. She has personally affected my business and others involved. I've had libel spouted about me as Eliza lying about what I posted being non-consensual, painting me as malicious. Eliza can come back. I mean, how do you prove if something's non-consensual or not? It's hard to even prove that in a little video that came up with the Tate stuff. Tate was playing adult rough play, or I don't know what it was, rough play potentially from his standpoint with a woman. It's on there. Crabman has it. It's on Twitter. And people thought it might have crossed the line. And then there's a video with the woman saying, no, it was consensual. Those are evidence. It doesn't prove anything, though. I ain't getting into that he said, she said. Andrew Tate says it was rough play. The woman says it was rough play. You look at it, you don't know what it was. I'm not getting involved with whether this was consensual or not. See, that's why I don't think Tim has gotten involved with it. Who's going to say, I don't care what clip you have of 10 seconds of her saying, I want to be in this video or whatever. I'm not coming out and saying that proves it was consensual. I just can't do that. That's a he said, she said stuff. And that's a area I'm not getting into. So Brittany can, I will not. Quartering can, I will not get into that area on that one. I will say there's red flags for sure. Her bestie and manager Amanda saying that I posted non-consensual pictures as well as Cassandra. So now Cassandra's in there. I'm a big supporter of Cassandra just for transparency. I don't know her. I just like her work a lot. Saying I sexually harassed Eliza. Cassandra is Tim Pool's booker who made it, so I can't go on Tim Pool. That's Brittany's take there. Cassandra is not here to defend herself or to clarify. So I don't know what to make of that. To really paint the seriousness of what has happened here, imagine if I were a man and these accusations were thrown at me. I don't know if everyone else would just accept cheap words, but I will not. She clearly lacks empathy and won't be sincere. Someone with empathy doesn't do the things she did. I think that's fair. She lies constantly about her own timelines. I would have to see the proof of the lying. About her values of being pro-free speech. Yeah, that is a lie. If she is pro-free, that's a lie. She deplatformed how many people over a lie, and she is manipulative, using people's sympathy And that's, I guess that's enough. That's not the whole statement, but that's enough to read. That's from Brittany Venti. And then I will go over to the quartering to react to a quartering video now, and then I'll take a look at the comments. Here's a recent video of the quartering. There's so many you could pull from, but I'm just pulling this one.
I hope.
And I think I'll start. I think it starts at about it starts pretty soon, 17 seconds. So let me start it here.
Files has just been published to my Twitter, and if you enjoy it, please do leave a like and share it. It seems like it may be getting suppressed. I wonder why. But I want to talk about something that came up this morning. First, it seems like Tim Pool is getting a lot of heat. Some of it justified, but also some of it maybe not justified. I talked about this yesterday, and I was like, hey, stop super chatting the guy and telling him to cover a story. He doesn't want to cover it. And I don't know if that struck a nerve or what the case is, but I woke up to, like, I don't know, some weirdly worded tweets that seem to like implicate and say that I'm the reason he's not covering it. Maybe that wasn't intended.
That's not what Tim said. Tim never said that he was the reason he didn't cover it.
And it isn't my intention to start any drama with Tim. I love Tim. Tim is a trendsetter in this space. I look up to him for his business model. No hate. Okay, I don't know how many times I can.
That has nothing to do with it. This is not the problem that I have with Jeremy here has nothing to do with any beef with him and Tim. So that's nice for him to say that, but it's irrelevant to my take.
Say it. I keep saying it on Twitter, and people are like, yeah, but no, I literally have no issue with Tim. I think he's really shown the way for independent commentators to actually really build their own business. Sure, Joe Rogan did it, right? But when Tim did it, it was a much more manageable gap, We saw Joe Rogan, and he's already super huge. You see Tim, he's doing the same thing a lot of us do, just commentating on the internet. Now he's got this, said he makes $500,000 a month, something like that. So, or
I don't know what that has to do with anything, but
I don't know, $10 million a year or whatever.
So
it
what?
is.
I don't
That's
care.
something to aspire to. So we all agree now. Okay. I have no problem with Tim. But now I'm going to have a problem with one of his tweets. And I think maybe it's just in the way that he worded it. I want to give him the benefit of the doubt here. First, this morning at 8 a.m., long before I was out of bed, or 7 a.m., he tweeted, people wanted us to talk about the Eliza Bleu story. We had the quartering booked for yesterday. That is true. A month in advance. He flaked on us, his words. Okay, fine. Also true. He can come on anytime and we will find a new date. I big agree. He has always indicated that. And I 100% believe him. We all want to show about it, and we had it timed perfectly, but it fell apart. Now, that part I think is a little weird. It's like,
no, it's not weird. This is where everybody's talking about the part that the quartering was booked a month early. So yes, it's true. When he was booked, they didn't book him for the Eliza Bleu story. So what? I had my back and forth. This is about integrity to me, and I'm very disappointed in Jeremy. This is embarrassing. I had my back and forth, and it's nothing personal. I like Caitlin Johnstone. I had a back and forth. We've had a couple back and forth on Twitter, and I appreciate she hasn't blocked me. I don't really block people, so unless it's like spam or something like that. She didn't block me. She had the conversation. So me and her and the other person I probably had a back and forth was with Nicole Hannah-Jones. She did eventually block me. But my point is, if I'm booked on Tim Pool in December, the reason Tim Pool is booking you is to talk about what's relevant. I'm booked January, and they tell me in December. If they tell me in December, the point of the show is to when you come January, we're talking about what's relevant that day, not even a week before your booking. So the time you're booked doesn't mean anything. It's irrelevant. You're booked. So say we settle on a January date a month before. So in December, I know I'm going on the show. And then say I get into beef with Nicole Hannah-Jones or Caitlin Johnstone or whoever. And it's not really personal beef, but you know what I mean? Where we have a disagreement and it's known out in the ether. And that's a hot topic. You're on the show to talk about what the hot topic is, especially if it is you. What the hell does it matter when the show was scheduled? What are we talking about that for? What does it matter? If the show was scheduled in December and then say that year J6 pops off, you're on the show J6, you're going to talk about J6. That's what's in the news. And if it's you, you talk about what's you. There's nothing disingenuous about that. So that's a red flag integrity-wise for Jeremy. That's disappointing. And everybody's parroting that line like it makes sense. Who cares when the show was booked?
About it, and we had it timed perfectly, but it fell.
Yeah, you could say we had it. He did have it timed perfect. Was it on purpose? No, but the fact is it was timed perfectly, and that happens a lot with the show. I don't know how that happens, but I mean, I think some of them are later bookings, but that happens. Timed perfectly. I have this expert, and this thing's in the news. So you are even bigger now. It started with Brittany Venti, but you have a bigger following than Brittany Venti, and you took it over in a bigger way than Brittany Venti. So you jumped on it. So what it looks like to me, and I'm not saying that his information is wrong, his interpretation of this evidence could be wrong, Jeremy's, but what I'm saying is he jumped on, and to me, it comes across as I jumped on because I saw this was going to be a hot topic and I'm coming in to make money. And that's fine if that's what you're going to do, but let's be clear about that. Let's not do any of this playing games about Tim's being disingenuous. That's ridiculous.
Part. Now, that part I think is a little weird. It's like implying that I'm the reason they're not talking about it and that they were just waiting for me to come on to talk about it, which I don't believe.
That's not true. So Tim has multiple channels. He has the Timcast IRL in real life. He has Timcast. Then he has Tim Pool. I looked at it. I don't think he's talked about Eliza Bleu as a headline topic on the Tim Pool class channel ever, on the Tim Pool channel or the Timcast channel. I don't see any. I just did a quick search. So correct me if I'm wrong down the road. I just searched for Eliza. I searched for Blue. I did not see one video from the Timcast channel or the Tim Pool channel on Eliza Bleu, period. He's had Eliza Bleu on Timcast IRL, 2.5 hours, however long the show is. So if he's going to be equal coverage on it, he's got the best on, it looked like it was January 30th was the booking. He's got the number one person trying to call out who was banned, got back on, in beef with Eliza Bleu, booked on the show, 2.5 hours. He had Eliza Bleu on, and now he can have you on. What's the problem? That's equal. He had it. He didn't talk about her on his other channels. He talked about her, or really just gave her a platform. And he did challenge her in a little bit ways on the show. If you remember, I'll play this clip from the show. She was talking about, well, why don't you believe the stories?
Posting, but I don't want to, you struck something in me, Tim, and I don't want to forget it. I do understand why people are very skeptical of these stories. Yeah. You should be a little, but not to the point where you harass survivors. What can I do as a...
Just to be clear, I don't believe anybody on face value. I don't care if you call yourself a survivor thing. I don't want it. I care about you as a person, but you don't get to label yourself a survivor, whether it's true or not, and say, I don't know what happened. So I can't believe you based on that label. It just can't happen. That's what due process is for. And so I don't agree with her here. And you're going to hear Tim. I don't think this is pushback, but Tim was not like just yes, agreeing with her on everything.
Survivor, as a public survivor and as an advocate, to at least maybe convey the story better. I don't know what I can do to make people believe. People don't believe my story. they
evidence.
Don't.
Yeah, just getting.
But what evidence?
Tim was matter of fact. He was like, we need evidence. So it's not like Tim platformed her.
I apologize for blooping out on you.
It's not like Tim platformed her and never questioned or was like disingenuous or anything like that. He platformed her to have her say. This isn't something he can debate. It's not like Matt Binder or whatever, Ben Binder, or whatever his name is, or whatever leftist is on there. Those are the ones that he will usually debate with a little bit more. It's not like he had Sam Cedar out there to talk about politics and debate. This is a Survivor story. It's a he said, she said. It's not really a debate time. Luke tested her as well, talking about, was this about money? I think I don't want to put words in his mouth, but he was questioning, like, are they going after criminally or civil type of stuff? So he platformed her. He had you scheduled. It doesn't matter when it was scheduled. You had the date on right in the middle of the beef. Perfect timing. He had her scheduled the platform to say her piece, and he had you scheduled to say your piece. So I don't want to hear about, well, when was it scheduled, or Tim's blame. Tim didn't blame you for any not covering the story. He never covered Eliza Bleu before on his other channels.
I was booked over a month ago, long before any of this stuff was booked. But then he said, yeah, maybe this will trick Jeremy. They come into the show and bring some commander decks. So, like, I don't think Tim's mad at me, but I think a lot of my viewers read this as like, yo, why are you throwing Jeremy under the bus? Like,
and then, but see, Jeremy has that vibe. So Jeremy has that vibe. Of course, a lot of his people are going to have that vibe too.
And I said before that, like, traveling is a big deal for me. I'm a big guy. I get wicked bad travel anxiety. Tim Pool is the only show I think I've ever traveled to be on. I was on a show at the Blaze too. But like, I don't travel twice. Okay, in 10 years, I can't sleep for days ahead of time. I get panic attacks when I travel. It totally ruins the fun part of it. Of traveling. So
come on,
I just don't really anymore. It's nothing personal.
Wait, what? What is happening right now? I'm sorry, y'all. This is a grown-ass man talking about his anxiety with traveling. What? The show was booked out a month before. What kind of garbage is this? Bro, don't do that. Don't do that. If you have a problem with traveling, then I'm going to need you to take your temperature and volume and take it down to like a 1. I'll use myself as an example again. I went been back and forth with Nicole Hannah-Jones multiple times, Caitlin Johnstone. Those are the ones I remember. Even I like Fiorella a lot, and we kind of went back and forth a little bit on China. Caitlin Johnstone is on China. Nicole Hannah-Jones is on you know what. And I'm booked on the show, and then I cancel because I have anxiety on traveling, and I've known that the whole time. And he's been on Timcast before. Stop it. I'm not letting a grown-ass man off the hook for anxiety on traveling. Stop it. I would not expect anybody to let me off the hook and say, oh, I don't want to talk about my position on the CCP and why I think Caitlin Johnstone's off on that because I have an anxiety for traveling. And I still was booked for the show, but didn't get around to telling anybody. What the hell? Get the hell out of here with that nonsense. You jumped into it. Here's what I would say. If I had anxiety on traveling and I messed up and whatever very possible could happen, I flaked out on one of the biggest podcasts. You flake out on one of the biggest podcasts. Get the hell out of here. So you flake out on one of the biggest podcasts. What I would say is I had a lot of energy exposing Eliza Bleu. Got beef with her on censorship, got beef with her story. I don't believe it. Here's all my stuff. Just hypothetically, here's all the stuff I said. She went on. She didn't have travel anxiety. You did. She's been on the show multiplying. You've been on the same show. So it's equal. He just had her on. He would have you on. You messed up. It was on you, not Tim. It was on you that you didn't go. I would say, you know what? It's on me. Until I reschedule, this is what I would say. Until I reschedule, Tim has an open invitation to reschedule. He doesn't care about all that beef type of stuff. You saw him with RA on the show. It doesn't matter. He will be there. And then he still, like Sav says, went on with Timcast with Eliza Schaefer. Sav says, then after that show went on with Chrissy Mayer and just flamed him, just got into him about how he didn't let her talk and how he's just a talking head reading articles and she's in the streets. And Sav's hard to argue with Sav's on that. Tim rebooked her right back on the show. They had a great episode. So that ain't no excuse. Tim said, you can come back on whenever, man. We just got to reschedule. So I don't want to hear a peep out of you, Jeremy, until you reschedule and go on Timcast IRL. Is that not fair? I think that's a fair statement to say. Reschedule, go back on, get over the anxiety. Eliza Bleu didn't have the anxiety. Or if you don't want to reschedule, that's fine. I'm going to need you to shut it. I'm going to need you to shell up. Because right now you have a lack of integrity. You're going after someone who went on the show and at least said their piece, and you're not willing to do the same thing. I'm going to need you to shell up. It doesn't matter if the information's good or bad. Move on to something else. That's just for me from an respect standpoint. If I say, man, I'm not going on the show to talk about Caitlin Johnstone or Nicole Hannah-Jones or whoever else, then I'd be like, I'm dropping the topic right now. Because they went on the show, just hypothetically, they went on the show, said their piece.
But Tim was getting, shredded by viewers, I guess.
There is legitimate criticism of Tim here. Let me show a clip before somebody from the show in the comments. I forget the screen name. I forget the screen name, but shout out. I think you'll know who you are. Was like, hey, I hope that being on Timcast doesn't cloud your judgment or something like connection to Tim. I don't know Tim from Adam. I was on the show one time. It had nothing to do with my take here, being on the show with Tim. Here's a legitimate criticism. So Tim said he's got Shane Cashman on the case. So I'm like, okay, you got Shane on the case, but here's Shane Cashman when he was on with Eliza Bleu. Let me find that here.
Shane Cashman. I'm at Shane Cashman everywhere. You can go on timcast.com and check out the Inverted World stories and the recent stories I've been doing, and working on some new ones right now. And Eliza, grateful for your work and awesome to be here with you.
I love you so much, Shane.
Oh, thanks.
I'm like your biggest fan.
Thank you for supporting me so much online.
I love you so much. I think you have a creative mind. And I told Shane one time, I said, I firmly believe that I had this feeling in my gut. I said, I need to ask Shane to take my picture and write an article because I have a feeling his work will end up being Warhol-esque in a way where it's...
But thank you.
I'm serious.
Thank you.
I don't know how else to articulate it, but I think you're really gifted and very talented, and I'm grateful.
Yeah, we've been talking about it. Right on. Yeah, we got something in the works.
Yeah, we're going to do a thing.
Yeah, it's going to be
You know
awesome.
what I think would be really cool? And I know you're trying to end the show, but I've had this vision a little bit of you coming out to the farm and really seeing what my day-to-day life is like.
That's the goal.
It's totally different than this glam version.
Yeah, that's the goal. I love doing stories like that where I can just kind of...
Do you have any overalls? Do you have any boots?
Yeah.
Do you have any slash
From my past
boots?
life on a farm where I grew up.
Word.
Yeah.
Do you like cats?
I've got two.
Okay.
I'm excited.
And you can bring your wife.
Perfect. Yeah, it'd be great.
I was excited to hear from.
Just FYI. Like, that wasn't a...
Yep, Shane Cash.
I think Tim was a little uncomfortable there. I don't know. Maybe it's just me in reading it. As you can see, that's problematic. This is Shane Cashman. So he can't be the one to do the story on Eliza Bleu. It just can't happen anymore. So I don't know if Tim talked to him or not, but for me, I would say, I want you to be authentic. So if that's how you really felt about Eliza, that's fine. That's just me. I'm not telling Tim what to say. Me, if I were in Tim's position, I would, after the show, tell Shane, I want you to be authentic, be yourself. If that's how you feel about Eliza, do it. And you can go do a piece on her, but you are not the one that's going to be doing this investigative work, though. That's for sure. Not after that clip. You got to keep a distance. If you want to be able to do that investigative work, you've got to say, I don't know what the relationship is, but you can't be that close. Even just people I know just from doing the channel, I'm not going to be doing investigative work on Shay or Broken Traditions or Ray or Carlos. Are you crazy? So you've got to keep your distance from people to be able to be you want to be nonpartisan, unbiased. and Shane can't go do the work now. So when Tim tweets like, I got Shane go out there doing the work, nah, you can't. That's not going to work for me. That unless the piece is very critical of Eliza Bleu, that's not going to work. It is what it is. So going back to Jeremy's comments here, and I'll go to the comments. Thanks for stopping by. Hopefully I'm being fair and respectful. I'm going to read the comments. If I'm wrong, I always leave room to be wrong.
There's nothing weird here. I don't have any problem with, Tim covering it or not covering it. I think it's an awesome grift, like that he just doesn't cover it. And then all my viewers are super chatting him thousands of dollars.
Wait, what? How's that a grift? Like, that makes no sense, Jeremy. Tim's not really covering the story, and your people are super chatting him. He didn't ask your people to super chat him. So you're calling it a grift because he hasn't made an announcement like, I'm not covering it, don't super chat me? That's even worse. I'm not doing that. Tim, if you want to super chat me to cover a story, you could go ahead and do it. It's not a grift, though.
With, Tim covering it or not covering it. I think it's an awesome grift, like that he just doesn't cover it. And then all my viewers are super chatting him thousands of dollars telling him to cover it. It's a great grift. But then he put out this tweet too. It was a little kind of heartbreaking again. Like, again, he kind of feels like he's throwing me under the bus a little bit, saying we had quartering booked for last night and he bailed on us. I was not booked to talk about Eliza Bleu.
So what? You're talking about her on Twitter right now. Every time I look up, there's a new this clip, that clip. That's bizarre. I wasn't booked to talk about her. You're talking about her every day. Now.
I was booked a month ago. Okay. So again, I don't like being used to, like, if you don't want to talk about it, don't talk about it. Okay. Why are you using me to, like, dump on people?
That's not true. That's not what happened.
Like, I don't know. I don't understand it. And on top of that, we find out now that apparently his employee, I don't know who this is, Shane Cashman. I just followed him on Twitter.
So we just talked
apparently
about.
He's a journalist for them, or maybe he's a journalist for hire or something like that. That he is deployed to meet up with Eliza Bleu. And
see, and this is the part where I would have had criticism, and you just heard me. I have criticism of Tim on this part. He can't be the one to do any type of he's looking into a story. Obviously not.
Do the research. So I don't know why he didn't just tell his viewers that he's looking into it, which I think he did. The backlash, by the way, I've never been happier. Have you seen this? Trending Eliza Bleu, trending with Elizabeth Warren.
That is hilarious.
Oh my God, it's so funny. But like, Timmy, come on, man. Like, I think maybe you might be throwing me under the bus here a little bit, and you don't have to.
I still haven't heard anything about a reschedule.
Like, bro, you said you have a reporter deployed, and I obviously believe you, and we'll talk about that in a second. So why not just say that? Like, it didn't work out with Jeremy. We have somebody. We literally paid somebody to go spend time with her and report on it. Why drag me? Why bury me twice? I have already said that my appearance, I flaked on it. I didn't get back to your booker in time. That's the God's honest truth. The extra layer of that is I always get really nervous about booking trips because I get anxiety about it. And I have another trip already in February that I'm already panicking about now. Like, I want you to know how bad my travel anxiety is. I'm already packed for a trip that is many weeks away.
Okay, so I'm going to need you to stop talking about Eliza Bleu then. Because you don't have that same energy when it's in person, couple hours. Nah, I need you to stop then. That doesn't work.
I don't even care. Like, I'm not embarrassed about admitting my weaknesses or my, things that I struggle with. Like, I will obsessively pack and unpack a half a dozen times between now and when I have to leave.
What does that have to do with anything?
I will walk around the house, pacing around the house, doing mental checklists, opening my luggage, checking, make sure I got it.
Okay.
And it's just for a short trip.
You're a grown ass man.
This is like me going on a vacation. It's going to ruin the 3 weeks leading up or 4 weeks leading up to it because I'll stress about it.
You got
This is why I
million
haven't gone on a
subscribers.
vacation
What
in
are,
12
what are we
years.
talking
I'm
about
not
right now?
saying that, I'm just saying like I have my reasons for being a flake, but it is true that I flaked about it. And then he said, if spending thousands on travel and accommodations for a multi-leg reporting trip and even booking Jeremy again, you didn't book me to talk about Eliza Bleu, man. Come on. It's not fair.
It is fair, Jeremy. It is fair.
Isn't enough. I'm ready to call it and just save the money at this point. Maybe we can use it to cure some people's blindness.
And yeah, if I were Tim, I probably would. What's the payoff? He's getting negative press for it and he's spending money on it. Yeah, he's probably gonna have to cut that story because if Shane doesn't come back with something really negative on Eliza, he can't print that. There's no way he can print an opinion piece that's in favor of Eliza with the bias that we saw there in that clip. What's and the money you spent? Yeah, that's a problem. That's why I think Tim's like, I got to cut it. He should, I think.
Oh, he deleted it. You deleted it. Okay, all right.
And that's my harshest criticism of Tim. And then you see how Jeremy gets amped up. Oh, he deleted it. He deleted it because that makes you look like a bitch. That's the problem. Why? Why would you delete those tweets?
All right. And he deleted that one.
Look at Jeremy. Now Jeremy's like, I'm off the hook. He's not off the hook, not with me. But that's a problem, Tim. Do not delete those tweets. That's a big problem for me. I don't understand. Who is he worried about? Jeremy? Are you worried about pissing off? Who is he worried about pissing off? I don't know. He's already got the negative people talking about him not exposing Eliza. Deleting the tweets doesn't help that. I don't know what the decision is to delete the tweets. That's a bad decision.
Okay.
See,
well, all right. So maybe it was just a moment of weakness and rage.
You see Jeremy now relax.
He literally just deleted it in real time. All right. And he deleted the other tweet about
brutal, Tim. That was brutal.
Okay. All right.
Tim, that was
Let's
awful,
move on to the
bro.
actual news then.
And I'll do a little
recording
bit of
in real time. Okay, so last night, Eliza.
So remember, he flaked on going on one of the biggest podcasts out there. Probably would have got millions of views because this is big in the news. He flaked on it. Now he's got energy to talk about it. I'm not going to go too much longer, but just to listen. Now, after flaking, then he got the relief like, oh, Tim deleted the tweets because that looks stupid on Tim's part. He's like, because Jeremy knows this is nonsense. And now he can go back to going after Eliza because he doesn't have to go in person and talk about it for however long with all the questions and all that.
Blue posted a picture with this gentleman who is apparently Tim's employee who's doing some level of reporting. And, he's an embedded reporter with her. So like, it's interesting. I think that'll be an interesting report. I hope I assume if he's like the real deal, he's done the research, he understands, what people are actually questioning. He's been several days there. She also wrote, I think that Elon Musk is a great person. I don't have anything negative to say about him. No kidding. He doesn't do favors for me. Okay, maybe. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know, but he messed up. So I'm going to stop there, look at the comments. That's all I have to say on it. And it does bother me from an integrity standpoint, looking at Jeremy jumping into this. He should have never jumped into it. He should have stayed away from the topic if he wasn't willing to talk about it in person. And you should be relished. She censored, and Brittany's still censored right now. And you could have went on the show and talked about it. So let me take a look and see the headlines here, or the comments here. Nicole Morgan says, finally, someone is covering this through an unbiased lens. Thank you. I hope she's talking about me here. I am unbiased on it. I am not making a definitive statement on Eliza Bleu, though, but showing you the data that I do have a lot of concerns. That's for sure. Let's go back through. Hopefully that answered some of the questions. So they said the video happened during the time Blue claimed she was trafficked. Red flag. I agree. fair to ask. That's what Brittany Venti was asking. I think, right? I think it's a fair question. That's how careful you've got to be on this topic. And that's probably why I'm never going to go any deeper than this on it. It's too risky. Just because she did that video, I will publicly say it's fair to question. It's a red flag. It's fair to question. Brittany Venti questioning it, perfectly fair. Quartering questioning it. Well, it's not fair for him, in my opinion, if she went on Timcast and he won't. But for Brittany and Brittany looks like she might not be able to get on Timcast because she got beef. Relationships matter. I mean, that's the thing. I don't know how that is working. But yeah, that's a fair question. But I am not willing to say, oh, she did this video, so she wasn't trafficked. I can't say that. Fenwick Chick, what's good, friend of show, says Elon needs to replace her with a real professional. Is she? I mean, she's not employed by Twitter, is she? I don't know. She was working on the terms of service. So that was, Elon Musk is kind of like a billionaire who kind of is like a man of the people type billionaire. And somehow she got in with Elon, and there's risk with Elon doing that. Who are you working with? And I don't know. It might have come back to look bad to Elon. Elon owns the censorship stuff, though. Oh, wow. Crass living up to the screen name. Crass 2047. That's a dope name. Are you like Class 2047 Crass? That's a dope screen name, actually. It's so funny. Can y'all take this with the seriousness that it deserves? Sounds like Eliza Bleu, a few rappers just saying. That is not coming from me. That is crass. Metalopoly, friend of show, says someone with a big platform need to tweet about it directly to Elon. People have been. He won't even notice unverified folks. Show him the receipts on Eliza. I believe he has unfollowed her just from reports. I don't even care enough to go to his Twitter. Go to his Twitter and confirm it if you care enough that I don't even know if he was following her. So I wouldn't even be able to confirm that. Martha says, so I'm wondering that if things were going on that would be considered trafficking, but she can't talk about in details because of litigation, but why even claim to be a victim if you can't talk? Yeah. If that's the case, then she needs to come out, in my opinion, because Eliza Bleu could be hurting the cause of being against real trafficking if she is not truthful. So if she can't speak about something because of litigation, then I don't know. I'm no expert, but I think it would behoove her to say so. Kirnoth says, I have to disagree. That's absolving a woman of responsibility. It is a Twitter problem, but also means Eliza Bleu is a giant POS. No, I'm going to disagree. Eliza Bleu can say whatever she wants to say. She can say it's an embarrassing video, or that's not what she said, but she could, just put it on me. If somebody did something with me, I could say it's an embarrassing video. I would like to think I would never say censor somebody, but you never know until you get into that situation. So I want to be fair to Eliza, but I can say whatever I want. You can say whatever you want. Twitter should have the credibility. They should have the integrity to say, nah, that's not what we do. You have to eat this one. That's a public video. Sorry. It's all on Twitter. It's not on her. She can say whatever she wants to say. Fenwick Chick says there are people who literally specialize in recognizing trafficking online. Elon can't find someone better for that position. I didn't realize she had an official position. I agree. It should be someone different. There's enough questions here that it can't be her, in my opinion. Isaac Hull, of course, friend of the show, says, I met Elizabeth Smart during her kidnapping several times. I met her along with her kidnappers in very public places, and Elizabeth Smart said nothing, which is congruent with Eliza's past videos. But you can have, is that called Stockholm syndrome, potentially? Even that's not enough. So when you look at it, how cautious that I would be on this topic, I don't think there's any possibility of me getting any deeper. I will not even be able to say a statement. I don't blame you, Isaac, for saying that, but I will not make that statement. Not comfortable. Don't be a simp. Who is that? Who is that to? Is that me? I have handled, I will be fully, I have handled videos like Eliza Blue's. If she didn't have any trafficking thing or anything like that, then I probably would handle her video with the immaturity of crass. But those things are there, and I will not go any further. Press for Elon's little butt buddy, Ian Miles Chung, to bring it up to him. It's kind of like we're in class and we got little butt buddies. I know what you mean, Metalopoly, because it does come across as that, as Ian being his little butt buddy. But or just fire her and put Brittany in charge. Brittany is very strong against trafficking. I wouldn't have a problem with that. Afternoon coffee and live stream. That's dope. I like the sound of that, Fenwick chick. What's your opinion on the Swedish Quran burning? If I'm correct, that's the video that we saw where somebody burned the Quran, and then were there riots after that? I don't know too much. I just saw the video. My immigration, my concern is there has to be assimilation culturally. Everybody shouldn't be in every country. And we're having that problem here. That's why immigration, my parents are immigrants, so I mean, hopefully I have some credibility on this. Immigrants from Jamaica. You come here, you take a civics test, there's a process, there's maybe some money, you have some blood, sweat, equity. Now, I know people are making a dangerous trip, but their blood, sweat, equity is really to these traffickers, or these, what do they call them? The coyotes, or whatever they call them. Their handlers, the gangs. That's who they are beholden to often. They owe them money when they come here. They're not beholden to America. They don't have that pride in America. And that's what you see there. You've got a clash of cultures, and I'm definitely not condoning the burning of a Quran or any book like that that's held in high esteem by many people. But that's what happens when you don't have assimilation. What if a bunch of Americans just crossed the border and entered into China? It'd be culture shock. Be like, wait, we have the spirit of, you can say damn near whatever you want to say and not be fired. We can criticize. We can call somebody Winnie the Pooh, even if they don't like being called Winnie the Pooh. But over there, that ain't going to work. You're going to get locked up. You're going to be looking like a J6 prisoner over there, if you're lucky. So it's the cost of not assimilate. Assimilation is needed. That's my take on that. If I generally understand it, I'm not purporting that I understand that story fully. Char Minsky said, tried to give Jeremy benefit of the doubt for a time, can't go there. He's been giving off some dishonest, not as sincere as he wants to be. I am disappointed in him. He can just be honest. It's okay. If you have anxiety, fine. Just fall back from your volume's too high. Just fall back from it, period. Metalopoly says this is the Streisand effect in action. Yes, it is. I've actually never heard of that until recently, but yes, from my knowledge of the Streisand effect, this is perfect definition of it. Eliza wanted to shut down by banning people. Now people are looking into her, and that's what she was trying to prevent in the first place. Yep, I agree completely with that. Fenwick Chick says she somehow got that music video pulled out from YouTube almost immediately. Yeah, she's got some pull, doesn't she? I can't find it anywhere. She's some kind of power. Yeah, she's got some power. She's using that identity, whether it's right or not. I'm not questioning it, but the identity as a survivor or whatever connection she has, she definitely has some pull, because you or I, Fenwick Chick, we wouldn't be able to do that. He's right. Tim Pool should speak up for free speech, banned over a screenshot from a YouTube video. Come on, man. Yeah, I will agree. I didn't say that on this video, but I agree. Just like Jack Murphy, even though these are two separate things, I'm not really comparing Jack Murphy. But the one thing I can compare is I think Tim should have been more transparent with Jack Murphy and said something. And I think he should say something here, but that's up to him. It's his channel. But from a free speech standpoint, Tim's pretty solid. So I don't have concerns about that. What they want is Eliza Bleu expose. That's what Jeremy and them want. To me, they want an Eliza Bleu discussion, and that's a whole different thing. I agree completely. A lot of people have been talking about there's been low-key tension between them for years, right? When's the last time he was on? Was it 2 years ago? It was the old studio. And that whole show was tension filled. That's fine. Because Jeremy is just a great marketer. So when stuff comes up with Tim Pool, he does a Tim Pool video, and back for a year, he's done that for a long time. He does more talking about people videos, and this is kind of an unusual one for me to kind of talk about a person. I really won't be getting into stuff like this too often, but I don't know. I just felt like it was worth talking about. Melopoly says, I've seen Elon interacting with Eliza on Twitter. I'm thinking he has a weakness for crazy women. He did date Amber Heard. Based. No lies detected. Amber Heard is one of the most attractive women I've ever seen, though. You look at Amber Heard and her, you want to get me distracted, talk about attractive women, and you've got me distracted. But, I mean, am I lying? I mean, just take a look at Amber Heard. She crazy as a bat out of hell. But did I say it was worth it? I didn't say anything. I didn't make those claims. But this is one of the most attractive women I've ever seen in my life. I mean, there's no debating it. I mean, she's on another level when it comes to attractiveness. I mean, even as she's aged, she's gotten no less attractive to me. Really attractive woman. No doubt. Sad story. I guess I'll transition to I named Anne Wershing passed away. She's another one that I do like redheads, full transparency. But she's another one that I've always, rest in peace. First of all, she passed away by cancer. I never heard of her until 24. I'm a huge 24 fan. That show was just, loved that show. And I've liked her since 24. She's one of the most attractive actresses out there that I've ever seen. And unfortunately, she passed away via cancer. I just thought of her because of Amber Heard, but rest in peace. She's played different roles, all interesting roles. I've been a big fan of her and her acting skills as well. She did recently just pass away. I'm on the clock with my laptop battery, so I've got a little bit more time. Let's go through some comments. Let's see. P. Vince says, yeah, I feel like Jeremy didn't get why there is an issue with him not showing up. It was kismet that he was booked on, Timcast at this time. I agree. Thank you, P. Vince. And I like Jeremy. I'm not trying to do any type of beef with Jeremy or anything like that, but I think it's worth talking about. Don't do that. Don't do what you did here. You do that with her, you do that with me or anybody else you deal with. Not like you would deal with me, but what he's doing with the Eliza Bleu thing, flaking out on the interview, still talking trash, whether trash is right or wrong, is unacceptable to me. That's not somebody I will associate or roll with. The courting was unbooked from Timcast before the Eliza thing surfaced almost 2 weeks ago now. So how long has the Eliza Bleu thing so I will stand corrected if he was unbooked before all this happened. I feel like this has been going on for 2 weeks, but maybe it's been 2 days and it's just, and I just been following it. So if anybody can update me on that timing from Jeremy's video, I don't know why maybe he said it on a different video, but I don't know why he wouldn't have said that on that video. In his own words, he said he flaked out. But if he was unbooked before the Eliza Bleu thing stuff, then I will take that back. That's just not the impression I got. Thank you for the comments there. Well, if you're a big guy, you shouldn't let people throw you under the bus, Isaac Hall says. Lunar Vision says, fair. To be fair, I hate traveling. Yeah, so I'm not saying that he's lying. I mean, he's a grown-ass man. That is embarrassing. But I'm not saying he's lying. Stephen Ganger says, to be fair, I hate traveling, especially by plane. And these days, the risk of complications spiked due to I don't blame you. But if that's the case, then you got to take your energy down because she didn't have those problems. Why do people care so much? This is a very good question. So I want to be able to articulate why I care about this drama. There's a lot involved here. With Eliza Bleu in particular, it is very dangerous to be using an identity of a survivor if you're not really a survivor. Even if you are a survivor, using your identity to censor people is a problem. It's a big problem if you're not really a survivor. So from the Eliza Bleu part of it, it is a very serious thing. I'm never going to get to the nuts and bolts of that because it's a he said, she said stuff that I just don't get into. But it's Me Too. It's the Me Too thing all over again. Me Too got so strong that a woman could make an allegation about somebody, a TV person, an actor, and done. No due process, you're fired. That can't happen. That is something that can be abused. It's just not right. It doesn't fall with my beliefs. So that's why the Eliza Bleu part of it's important to me. The other part is not as important. My beef with, not beef, but my criticism of Tim for deleting the tweets. Okay, in the grand scheme of life, who cares? My criticism of Jeremy for just cringe takes on this, grand scheme of life, who cares? But just I follow these guys from a creator standpoint, and just you want to get to know me a little bit about like how principled, that's how you get to know people. What are their principles? That is a huge problem for me to not be able to go on the show. It just depends on the timing. People are arguing about that. So talking about Tim and Jeremy, it's not the biggest part of this, but it means a little something. Sweet Lou says, love you, Tim and Jeremy, but you're reacting in pieces before listening to the whole. Believe it or not, he has spoke about his problem traveling for years, just like many others. That doesn't change my take, Sweet Lou. I appreciate you. And then if you're not able to travel and you've got a contentious situation with someone who was able to travel and go on a show and you can't, then you need to shell up. It doesn't matter why. It doesn't matter if you believe him or not. And as a grown man, it is embarrassing regardless, period. There's a lot of embarrassing things that I've talked about some in the channel that I'm a grown-ass man and it's embarrassing for me too. So I'm not saying like I don't have anything. I think it's embarrassing to not be able to cry. And it's one thing I said I struggle with. I just never learned emotions. That is embarrassing, not being able to cry when you've got emotions. You're not an android robot. It will come out in some way, shape, or form. So I'm not trying to say that to diss him. Whoa. Lunar Vision says that Eliza was just playfully flirting with Shane. I didn't pick that up, but maybe I missed that. Slow news week. Yeah, I guess you could say that. I mean, I always feel like there's a lot of news. Let's talk about me. Lunar Vision says, I believe Jeremy here that he flaked. He does that and admits his flaws. He talked about anxiety with travel. He's been on the show before too, though. And damn, man, that shirt is crisp. Oh, thanks. Yeah, I had to step up the game. Thanks for saying the shirt is crisp. I'm not wearing my usual gear for this one. Cookie Monster Big Bird 2024. I'm looking forward to the rave. Sub up to the Ray Affinity show. He's got his channel going on YouTube. Click on his name there. Sub up on to him. There's a theory that, look at Ray. Ray, I stay away from this, man. You get in trouble. Ray says there's a theory, just completely rumor theory. I'm not saying this is true. Allegedly, that Amber Heard's daughter is actually Elon's because she froze her eggs while she and Elon dated. I have no way of confirming that. That's a funny rumor, though. I'd rather be with a 4 than a woman ishing on my floor. No, you know what? You know what, Steven? I'm not gonna lie. Amber Heard could take a dump in my bed if we could work something out. I don't know. Is that a fair trade-off? Am I the only one? I don't know, man. I think that might be worth it. However, she's that attractive. I don't know. Let's just say I don't know. Let's just say my official answer is I have to think about it. I got a dog. I clean up ish all the time. That ain't no thing. I don't care if it's human or not. I clean up the stuff all the time. It's with a plastic bag. I pick it up and throw it out. As long as it's not running. We could work something out. I'll change my official statement. We could, if that's the down, let me not say, because that doesn't sound right. We could work it out. Let me say, if that was an organic relationship with Amber Heard and that was the downfall, and I could get out without any other problems other than the ish on the bed, then we could work something out. That's what I'll say on that topic. Y'all stupid. What's going on in your head, man? I'm the one that said we could work something out, then I'm going to make fun of him. That's what I'm going to do. Isaac Hall says, good show. I stand beyond rebuke. Always Google figure it out. Ex Superhero says, personally, I think Tim was exercising a healthy approach by not talking about the quartering and EB. Always get both sides of the story before you express your opinions. I respect Tim is very methodical, thought out. And that's why you haven't caught him. They try to catch him in a lot of like, oh, you said this, you should have said that. And I look through, there's this person that does all this stuff to say, hey, Tim was wrong about this. They put together clips. I don't know how long they look through all of his videos and they put through clips of he said this wrong or that wrong or contradicted. And I listened to this whole thing, 20 minutes. And I'm like, bro, there's nothing here. That's how detailed he is. So I don't think and he's been successful doing that. Do what you do. Don't delete those tweets, though. That's embarrassing, Tim. That's my problem with Tim. Okay, so it wasn't just me. Ex Superhero thought the same thing when he saw the video about Jeremy. He wasn't unhooked. He came out and said he unbooked. I haven't watched all of Jeremy's reacts to it. I'm not going to. Just to full transparency, I'm gonna move on to other stories. But it looks like there's debate on what he said, what he didn't. Sweet Lou says, I don't get it, Osiris. If I can't speak the way I want you to, shut up. No, he doesn't have to. I'm not trying to be authoritarian, but just from a respect. No, it's not about what he's saying. It's about if you can't back up what you're saying on the biggest platform when the person you're going after was on the same platform, then I need you. If you want respect for me, which he doesn't need respect for me, but if you want respect for me, you need to shell up or reschedule. I don't want to hear you keep talking about Eliza Bleu when you had an opportunity to go on a podcast with millions of people. You still do to reschedule. So it's not about me trying to be authoritarian. I'm just saying you can keep doing what you do, but I don't respect you on this topic. T. Collier says, Jeremy has always been a little cringe and drama. How many people has he beefed with so far? Yep, man, it's worked for his channel. He's very smart. Nicole Morgan says the issue with his severe travel anxiety is he makes ton of videos making fun of triggered woke people. I agree completely. I've seen him make fun of anxiety. I'm super conservative, but that doesn't sit well with me. I agree. That's a problem for me. Poker Villain has to center us. Somebody, whether it's Jordan or Poker Villain has to center us to Dave Smith. Let's drop the comic. He's the only Dave Smith that matters. 2024. Tim Drunken Yoda, I like that title. Tim implied that the interview was about Eliza when it wasn't, and he won't address the situation because Jeremy wouldn't show up. Tim used that as an excuse to not talk about it. I think that's fair. I think Tim should talk about, well, from the censorship standpoint, because I'm not going to tell Tim he should talk about something I'm not feel comfortable talking about, but I understand what you mean. But it doesn't matter. That's what the interview was about, whatever the hot topics are at the time. And Tim never addressed Eliza outside of Timcast IRL. And the only way he addressed it, he never addressed Eliza Bleu that I remember as a separate topic without her coming on the show. So the only balance would be, I think the other criticism you could have is Brittany Venti is claiming that she's frozen out of coming on Timcast. I don't know if that's true or not. That, to me, is a legitimate concern. I don't know what the relationship is or whatever. I think Tim should have Brittany on. I think since the quartering canceled, The next person would be Brittany. And if Brittany wants to come on Timcast, to me, you take the personal stuff out of it. Not that there is. That's what Brittany's alleging. You take the personal stuff out of it. You have Brittany on now then. That's a fair criticism of Tim. The Ray Xfinity Show. If she's a 10, I'll put up with some attitude. But her... What? Ray! 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 Ray, do I need to text you right now? Ray! Ray, this is blasphemous. Ray, what are you saying, bro? I'm just joking with you, but kind of. This is bro talk. Amber Heard's not a 10? Or you mean she wasn't a 10 in the past and maybe she's not now? Because how old is Amber Heard? Okay, Google. How old is Amber Heard? She's 36. She's not. I'm 45, so I got a whole different perspective. She's young to me. But Ray, don't do this. Ray. But it's all opinion, of course. I'm just joking. But who's a 10 though, Ray? Help me out. I like Nia Long in her prime. Nia Long from Love Jones. Lauryn Hill in her prime, 10s. Amber Heard, 10. Still a 10 to me. Anne Wershing, 10. I got a lot of 10s. I mean, Amber Heard is the pinnacle of 10s to me. I don't know if there's anyone more attractive. I actually liked it before she opens her mouth, and rest in peace. Anna Nicole Smith, I thought was a 10. Is that controversial? Even when she got thicker, I thought she was a 10. She had a lot of makeup on and stuff, though. But she looked like a thicker Marilyn Monroe, who also was a 10. Who are the 10s, guys? This has officially devolved. Ray, you're gonna have to explain that to me, man. You're just gonna have to explain that one. That's all that's gonna happen. Maybe I give out 10s too loosely. Scarlett Johansson is a 10. Well, I would say she's an 8. No, I'm serious. She's great. She's very attractive. No, yeah. And it's easy for me to say. I'm a 1. So just to be clear, I'm not going to be doling out numbers without that. Kate Beckinsale, 10. Okay. J-Lo's a 10. Okay. For me, she's not, but she's good. Kate Beckinsale, is she a 10? Let me look up these 10s. As you can see, the show is almost over, everybody. We're now talking about 10s or not. Let me just take a look at Kate Beckinsale. Let's look at 10s or not. Everybody has their own type. I mean, to be honest with you, you go on TikTok and you find 10s. Well, you can just go on TikTok and you find a random 10. So I don't even need to go to these movie stars. Was she with what's his name too? She's not a 10 to me. Maybe back in the day she's had some surgery, you can tell. But like that doesn't even look right. Oh yeah, she was with the boy. I was like, was she on the list? Yeah, she was on the list. How's this bro right here getting all the 10s, man? Is that fair to ask? This goofy ass nigga. I've never seen a goofier ass nigga get more 10s in my life. Something's up, man. She looks like a 10 here with good makeup and stuff. She doesn't look like a 10 here. She's not a 10 for me. She's nowhere near Amber Heard to me. So there you have my opinion on that. But I mean, I just don't know celebrities like that. So there's a lot. Halle Berry. Halle Berry's been a 10 since I was in middle school. Halle Berry's a 10. Like that was a consensus. Like ever since 90, early 90s, it's been consensus. Halle Berry's a 10. From Cleveland, Ohio, Cleveland area, represent. As my laptop, I'm just going to go until my laptop dies. And then, well, I hate that because I have to jump back in to stop the live. So any other 10s, fellas? And now that we've chased all the ladies away, who are the other 10s, fellas? I apologize. Any lady who Kate has that MILF thing going. Yeah. Nicole, you still hanging around? Who are the 10 dudes? I want to be fair. I want to be equitable. Trish Stratus. Who is Pete only dates 10s. That bro is special right there. I guess it's because he has their names tattooed on his body. That might, I don't know. Jennifer Aniston is good. Not a 10 for me. Susan Sarandon, that's a surprise to me, right? A young Susan Sarandon. Let me look up Susan Sarandon. Is she a 10? Susan Sarandon. I don't think of her as a 10, but am I thinking of the right person? I like Jennifer Aniston, but for me, she's probably 8. Okay. I like Susan Sarandon. She would not be a 10 for me. For Hollywood status, probably a 7. But I like her. She has an authentic look to her, which I really like. I don't like the synthetic look. Trish Stratus, Ray Studios, because we need to calibrate. So this is a big one. If you say that Amber Heard's not a 10, and I assume that you mean ever was a 10, then Trish Stratus is going to have to be special. Trish Stratus. Let's take a look. Is this her? Trish Stratus? Ray, we gotta talk, Ray. I'm sorry, man. I'm not. We're gonna have to talk, man. Ray, it's not gonna cut it, bro. Is this her? This ain't gonna cut it, bro. If you say nah, this ain't gonna cut it. Pamela Anderson or Lee, whatever her name is better than this. Nah, it's not gonna work, Ray. I'm sorry, man. If that's just not for me, man, that's not gonna work for me. Like, this is a 10. I'm sorry. Like, I don't care about the. See, I think the craziness gets involved, kind of like how I look at AOC, because I do not like AOC at all. I would rate her probably like a 3. And it's probably because of when she opens her mouth. Imagine if she were a libertarian or something like that. Who knows? I might have her like a 9. Because a friend of the show, Will Cormier, he needs to get back on here, was like, she's great. And I was like, yeah, I don't know if we all agree on that. But Ray, this is, let me help you out, Ray. This is a 10. This is a pinnacle. This is, I'm going to go back to Trish. This is okay. This is okay. This is a 10. Like that, just to calibrate. I'm just having fun. This is a 10, Ray. Just so we're on the same page. Like, that is, you say what you want. I had never heard anybody call Amber. You could call her crazy as hell. You can say she'll take a shit on your floor. You won't call her ugly, though. That's something you won't do. Yeah. I know there's makeup and all that involved, but I mean, with these dating apps, you get on a dating app, you find a 10 in a heartbeat. These Instagram models or whatever. It's just a click away. So I don't even know the Yeah, I did. Ray's talking about the Photoshop. I knew it was a Photoshop because I'm like, I've never seen her wear anything like that. I'm not, just to be clear, I'm not for that. I did take a look at it. If you don't know, there was a Photoshop going around on Twitter of AOC. It is not real. I'll just say that. But the assets, I think the size of the assets are real, though. I think that's real. I don't know if they enlarged them a little bit. The assets are there. The vision wasn't. Okay, so let's be equitable. And thank you, Nicole Morgan, for hanging out through what's devolved into guys talking about foolishness. Channing Tatum is close, but not quite a 10 for me. It's not just looks, it's humor and personality. That's easily half the equation. So it's good to bring that in. And that's why I'm wondering, see, there is that equation, and Amber is obviously just loco, but the looks are so high, there is no other equation. Lauryn Hill in her prime. Let me look at Lauryn Hill 90s. And obviously I'm past my prime, so I'm not going to be talking about past her prime like I'm not. Lauryn Hill in her prime, just beautiful. This is older. I don't know when this is from, but this is a good picture. just pinnacle type stuff. And she has a great personality, so it does help. I agree with you, Nicole. Personality, it's hard to ignore personality when it comes to this. It really is. I know Ray's like, bro, I didn't say she was ugly. I just said that's a tough one for me to say that Amber Heard's anything less than a 10. That's a tough one for me. But you can have your opinions, of course. Yeah, Ray just has a different type. That's all good. Let's see her without makeup. Fair comment. Fair, absolute with all of them. I prefer without makeup. I like more all natural look. I have vast taste. I was a big fan of the show called The OC. I'll be leaving out with this because my battery's about to die. Rachel Bilson. Let me look up Rachel Bilson. I guess I like brunettes, but I thought she was very attractive on the OC. One of my favorite shows of all time, believe it or not. Really like that show. This is Rachel Bilson. That's not Rachel Bilson. I have it on a different tab. Rachel Bilson, the OC. I thought she was really cute. So you can clown me, Ray. I'm gonna say Rachel Bilson is a 10. Yeah, just my type. So I will put her on the same level as Amber Heard. So we all got our types. So now that it's devolved, let's go handle business, take care of the day. And hopefully everybody has a great day. And we'll look at other type of news stories and all that kind of stuff. Hopefully I'll be able to do like a Twitter Blue trending news story, and then I kind of get ideas for other videos. Thanks a lot for stopping by. Appreciate y'all. Take care.